your thoughts, in your words, and in your actions. Thank you for listening.
You were listening to the WinFM Sports News, which came to you with the kind compliments of Island Bakery.
Island Bakeries, good to the last come for over 2 decades. We have the best sliced bread anywhere on the island, the best butter bread, cakes and pastries, and a staff that's warmer. Island Bakeries, good to the last crumb. We also have island-wide delivery buses, outlets at the industrial site Bay Road and on 4th Street, opening hours from 5 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. Easy in the morning. Island Bakeries, good to the last crumb. Island Bakeries, good to the last crumb.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
I ain't got no hurricane safety tips now. Well, Skellek got, and together we can weather the storm. So, check this. Prepare for power outages. Charge devices before a storm strikes. Develop a plan in the event that electricity goes. Learn where and how to shut off your home's electricity. Ensure that there are no trees in the lines near you. If you are experiencing low voltage, turn off the main switch in your home. Do not touch wet appliances. Be sure to stay tuned to Skellek's Facebook page and website for updates about the outages and restoration. For emergencies, our contact numbers are 465-2013, 661-2013, and 600. I repeat, 465-2013, 661-2013, and 600. Remember, with Skellek's hurricane safety tips, together we can weather the storm.
Ever hear earthquake call and say, "Hello, Miss Lee, yes, it's me, earthquake, I coming Tuesday around 10? No, sir. Earthquake does arrive unannounced, and when it come, it shake all sense and sensibility out of we. Remain calm, stay inside, and do the DCH. Drop, hover, hold on. Once the shaking starts, you know it's earthquake. Make a quick move to a safe place. Don't run to the door, we are any exit. Stairs might block up or full of people. Elevator, avoid that, because you might get in and poof, power gone, and you're stuck in that box without ear. Take cover under a strong table or a bed, or crouch against an inside wall or in a corner, and cover your face and your head with your arms. Remember, DCH, drop, cover, hold on. Glass windows and doors, outside walls and doors in an earthquake, bad news. Take care yourself. Most injuries during earthquakes happen when something drops and hit people entering or exiting a building. Last thing, nobody run outside and ask, you feel it, you feel it? Remain calm, stay indoors until all the shaking stop, and do the DCH, drop, cover, hold on.
This message is sponsored by the Australian Government, AusAid, and produced by NEMA in collaboration with WinFM.
Maybe it's the way the brilliant gold liquid reflects our sunshine, or how the bright blue of its label mirrors the clear Caribbean skies overhead. Maybe it's the fresh, crisp taste of this beastly cold beer on a scorching hot day. Maybe it's even the way it brings us all together. But one thing is for sure, Carib is very much a part of who we are wherever we're from in the Caribbean. Carib, it's the way we play. Drink responsibly.
Welcome to Island Tea with your faves. Keep it locked in with us for your daily dose of hot tea, only on Win Media 98.9.
And a pleasant good day to you and yours. Welcome to another presentation of Island Tea, and I'll be with you on my lonesome for a couple of days, not a couple, a number of days. I will be with you on the 6th, the 7th, the 8th, and I think the 11th. By the 12th, Hortensia should be back, but be assured that she will be back. She's taken a bit of a hiatus, as we all do occasionally. We all need a bit of leisure time. Speaking of leisure time, we had some leisure time over the weekend there with the Culturama celebrations. I hope that you have been enjoying and will continue to do so. Let me see now. I'm going to open the lines eventually, so I might as well do the usual and give you the phone numbers that you can call if you want to interact. If there's anything you feel you want to vent, express, then feel free to do so when that time comes around. The numbers are 466-0989, 662-0989, 762-0989. In the UK, 033-344-0065. In the US of A, 718-285-6984. In Canada, 305-921-4619. Now, before I get into the gist of my programming, there have been a number of you who, for some time, have been inquiring about us being individuals being able to get us in the Bastia area down to Sandy Point, over across Nevis and beyond. And I promise you that should have been done by early last month. By the mid of last month, that should have been done. Well, in case you're wondering, and I know a lot of you are, I have done what I needed to do. We did get that new transmitter. It has been installed. It has been, let me just shorten it by saying I did what I needed to do, but we have found another impediment, and that is the antenna being placed up, and that is out of my purview. That is done by a rigger, and that rigger has to get that done. There was a part that he needed, that was ordered, that has been here for some time, so it's up to the rigger, and as soon as he gets that done, any day he gets that done, you'll be able to get us loud and clear in the Bastia area, Sandy Point and beyond. Again, it is all up to the rigger. If he does it tomorrow, you'll hear us tomorrow. If he does it the day after, whenever, well, because I've already done my part, it is just for the antenna to be installed, and without the antenna, the signal cannot be distributed. Okay, so for those of you who have been wondering and have been saying, well, Quint made us promises, that is why I really don't like to set definitive dates, but I set that date in relation to what I was able to do, assuming that everything else would fall in place. Hopefully everything else falls into place. Okay, let me take a bit of a commercial break, and I'll be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
Dream big, build strong, grow together. Let hearts first, building a Nevis centers lead the way. From tools to materials, we've got it every day. Us, what's building a Nevis
and trust. For every dream protect. Don't go and build with us. Dream with us, grow with us, build with us today. Horsford is the partner that helps you pave the way.
Supermarket shoppers understand that convenience matters. At Hortsport's Value Mart IGA, we know that price matters most. Ample parking and the widest variety matter. At Hortsport's Value Mart IGA, we know that price matters most. Clean, spacious aisles and the highest level of customer service all matter. At Hortsport's Value Mart IGA, price matters most. We've renewed our commitment to guarantee the lowest prices in the Federation. Why? Because we understand that in this tough economic environment, price matters most. Shop smart. Shop Value Mart, where price matters most. Farms Estate Nevis and Wellington Road, St. Kitts.
Price matters most.
Get ready to build, save, and celebrate. It's the Builders Paradise Culturama Weekend Sales Event. 3 days only, July 31st to August 1st. That's right, for one epic weekend. Take 25% off store-wide on all discountable items. From power tools to paint, tiles to timber, plumbing to finishes. Everyday low prices just got even lower. Don't miss your chance to stock up, step up, and save big this Culturama. Visit Builders Paradise at the Industrial Site Bastille. Call 869-466-4938 for more info. Builders Paradise. Build more. Spend less. Everyday low prices goes lower for Culturama.
This Culturama, it's time to celebrate culture, celebrate savings, celebrate at Horsford's. Horsford's Culturama sales event runs from July 31st to August 1st. 3 days only. Enjoy 25% off all discountable items store-wide at Horsford's Building and Nevis Centers, Horsford's Furniture and Appliances, Ashley Furniture Home Store, Horsford's Automotive Accessories and Spares, and Builders Paradise. And that's not all. Get double cash back at Horsford's Furniture and Appliances and Ashley Furniture Home Store. Whether you're upgrading, renovating, or just ready to save, celebrate big this Culturama the Horsford's way. July 31st to August 1st. 3 days only at Horsford's. Everything you need under one roof. Terms and conditions apply. For Culturama to Independence, it's your time to ride in style and save all the while with Horsford's Automotive. Get up to $8,500 off on all models. No down payment, free bill of sale, 12 months of free servicing, or choose up to $1,000 in free groceries or free gas, your choice. And it doesn't stop there. Get free registration, licensing, tinting, and accessories. Whether you're a first-time buyer, a growing family, or just ready for an upgrade, this is your moment. Hurry in to Horsford's Automotive, St. Kitts and Nevis, and ride in style. Save all the while. Terms and conditions apply.
Basta! We run things, things are run we. Basta! Basta! Living color, do it differently. Basta! Basta! Lads and in charge, like for the party. Basta! Basta! We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
7 flavors, best taste. Basta! Bolder, better, better. Pick your color.
We set the pace, then everybody follow it.
Basta! Live in full color.
Basta!
St. Kitts, are you ready to invest with UTC GBFL?
Wait, UTC GBFL? What is that all about?
It's the UTC Global Balanced Fund Limited, your passport to investing in global markets, stocks, bonds, and opportunities worldwide, all within your reach.
So I can really start investing money?
Yes, and the best part, you can start with just 100 US or EC equivalent. Investing isn't just for the big players, it's for you. Whether you are seeking the potential to build wealth, secure your future, or chase your dreams, now is the time. Do it for you. Now, visit utcgbfl.com to get started today. UTC GBFL. Invest for tomorrow. Do it for you. An investor should consider a fund's investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses before investing, with the full knowledge that an investor may not get back the amount invested. The price of the units may increase or decrease, or that there may be circumstances where redemption of units may be suspended. This and other important information can be found in the fund's prospectus, which is available on our website, www.utcgbfl.com. The Eastern Caribbean Securities Regulatory Commission has not in any way evaluated the merits of the securities offered.
Seize the day with a summer loan from TDC Financial Services. Whether it's vacation, home upgrades, back to school prep, or even a little treat for yourself, borrow up to $65,000 unsecured with low rates and flexible terms. Apply today at TDC Financial Services, Central Street, St. Kitts, or Main Street, Charlestown, Nevis. Don't miss the sunshine. Let your summer plans sail smoothly with TDC Financial Services, where money is made easy.
Welcome to Island Tea with your faves. Keep it locked in with us for your daily dose of hot tea, only on Win Media 98.9.
And I'm back with you. And as per usual, like I said, let me reiterate for those of you who are presently logging on that Hortensia won't be with me today, the 6th, tomorrow the 7th, and on the 8th, also not on the 11th. She should be back on the 12th, okay? So for those of you who look forward to hearing her lovely voice, well, you'll hear that on the 12th. In the meantime, you have to make do with my gruff and rather boring voice, okay? So my humble apologies for that. Now, as I often do, I'm going to start with a bit of synopsis history on Haiti, and then I'm going to do the usual, give you a synopsis bit on books taken from, not included in when the Bible was being put together. And I'm also going to play for you a clip that I played long ago, but a number of you said you did not hear it. It is a clip that deals with Guyana and why Guyana is considered part of the Caribbean body, part of the Caribbean islands, okay? Even though it is on the continent of America, okay? So first, without any delay, let me get into that bit of a synopsis history on Haiti.
They did not just sit down and let themselves be taken away. They fought. They fought all the way to the boat. They fought on the boat. They killed themselves throughout the trip. They killed themselves as they get off the boat or killed whoever was tying them up. So the fight began the day the aggression, the kidnapping, the slave mentality began to capture people. Henri Christophe, he's going to take over after Dessalines' death. Christophe, his strength is that he picked up all of Dessalines' plans and executed them. Whereas in the West, Pétion, who was president, who is the assassin of Jean-Jacques Dessalines, he smashed everything Dessalines started. And this is the man who believed in the French, who is begging a slaver while president of this country, while talking about the Black Republic, is begging a Frenchman to recognize him as his son. Now, this is the confused person who brings us to the crossroad of where we are now, that led to where we are now. And that's the continuation of this sickness of wanting to be white, wanting to live out of yourself, out of your own nature, and it's going to be concretized by this thing is going to reach a higher level when this man is going to agree to pay France 150 million gold francs for an independence that we earned. The year 2004 is important for Haitian, for it is a mark. It is a time, as far as we are concerned, for remembering, going back and studying a victorious time in our lives, so we can pick up the principles of history, put them into structures, and so we can begin again to work as a victorious people. Jean-Jacques Dessalines himself said it, 1804. He said, look at what you did. He did not say, look at what I did. He said, look at what you did. He said, it's not the army's victory. It is your victory. For if you were not there for the army to hide, if you were not there to feed this army, if you were not there to bring him weapons, what would he have realized? Look at what you did. Clap for yourselves. Yes, we have lost this. It's not written anywhere in no manual, history manuals for the children. The children do not know what it is that they did in 1804. I believe if one does not have a good understanding of what has happened in the past, then you are not equipped to build the future. I believe that if your knowledge of history is just blurbs, little bleeps about this president, that president, oh, this one was no good, that one was this one was a killer, then if that's your understanding of what is called history, then you cannot project the future. To project the future, there must be a profound analysis of what has happened and understand the whys of these various events. Then you are equipped. Because I believe our history is in studying our history, we capture a light from the past which shines on the road to the future.
And you had it, a brief synopsis, a synopsis. Brief and synopsis are basically the same. A synopsis history of Haiti. And it is very, very vital that we remember our past, and Haiti's past is integral to our history, because Haiti paved the way for us to be where we are today. And as the narrator, the professor, was speaking about the history, she spoke about what often happens during colonialism and continues to happen in neocolonialism, where we get leaders who are so infatuated by their captors that they would do anything, even if it means compromising their own selves and the integrity of their people. Because here you had a leader who was begging a Frenchman to adopt him as his son. A black leader, mind you, begging a Frenchman to adopt him as his son. And so wanting to please the French that he agreed to pay the French what they demanded in reparations, 150 gold francs. Could you imagine that? And as the narrator said, our children need to know our history, because when our children don't know our history, they take life rather casually. But when they know from whence we came and the battle that was fought, so that they can be here, hopefully, and as often happens, a number of them take life more seriously. We tend to get only the bad history. The media, the established media around the globe has always painted our past as only negative in terms of ourselves, but never speaking about the bad part that they played in keeping us in bondage and doing so physically and now even mentally, even after 400 years. So there you had that. And now I'm going to play my second usual, which is another synopsis, but this one relating to books not incorporated in the Bible. And I know every time I play these clips, Greg tends to call and, make certain statements. Well, I will not engage Greg today because we continuously just say the same thing. He says and I say, and we don't really get anywhere. What I want you to do is to listen and analyze for yourself and come to your own conclusion. Do your own research, okay? Do not be led by what I play or what I say or what Greg says, but what you determine for yourself. So without further delay, let's get into books not incorporated when the Bible was being put together by man.
1,000 years before and after Jesus, a small collection of writings found their way into the sacred scriptures of Jews and Christians. To this day, this small library of ancient writings is accepted by many as the Word of God. But there were hundreds of religious writings considered important at the time that were left out of the Holy Bible. What is contained in these rejected books, and why were they left out? Were some writings thought too fanciful? Perhaps these excluded or banned books were simply deemed unworthy for inclusion in sacred scripture.
There is a collection of books that we would say are literally forbidden.
Perhaps it was their revolutionary ideas. Perhaps it was the growing strength of their movement. Whatever the reason, the writings of the Gnostics were among the books that were forbidden by the early church. One of the most intriguing is a text called the Gospel of Mary. It presents an entirely different Mary Magdalene, not the woman commonly thought of as a prostitute. It was the Gospel of Mary, not included in the New Testament, that revealed a fiercely independent Mary Magdalene, a woman who was an apostle and a visionary. The words she speaks to the apostles reflect the unusual mystical teachings of the early Christian Gnostics.
I said to him, Lord, I saw you today in a vision. He answered and said to me, Blessed are you that you did not waver at the sight of me, for where the mind is, there is the treasure. I said to him, Lord, now does he who sees the vision see it through the soul or through the spirit? The Savior answered and said, He does not see through the soul nor through the spirit, but the mind which is between the two. That is what sees the vision.
Initially, the disciple Andrew exclaims that this teaching that she has communicated to them is very strange. How could Jesus have taught such an unusual thing? But then Peter comes along and he challenges Mary, not based on the information that she has conveyed, but based on her gender. He says something to the effect that how is it that Jesus would have communicated this information to a woman rather than to us? And it's Levi, the disciple Levi, who sort of comes to the defense of Mary of Magdala and says, oh, come on, Peter, you've always been a hothead. Who are we to judge Mary if Jesus himself found her worthy?
If you're imagining why would the Gospel of Mary not be allowed in the canon, there are multiple reasons. One would be probably that its whole attitude towards matter, towards the material universe, is too Gnostic for the tastes of the New Testament. But the other one is what it says about Mary herself. If everything she said was orthodox, if she said the most straightforward, middle-of-the-road approved doctrine, and said that she got it from Jesus and that she was in charge, it would not get into the New Testament.
It's because that women aren't supposed to be intelligent, smart, and forthright, and they're not supposed to follow after a charismatic spiritual leader. And that makes Mary Magdalene very problematic, because if you think about it, who's the first person in the narratives that finds out Jesus is risen? It's Mary Magdalene. It's not any of the guys. It's Mary Magdalene. And so obviously she holds a very high place, but later when you get to start having all of these theologian types or the other serious guys who come in to try to figure out what's right and what's wrong, you have to sort of call her a name. And a woman who has demons or has a problem or issue, it's easier to call her a demoniac and a prostitute than it is to say she's one of Jesus' beloved.
And all of that seems to reflect what is going on in the church at that time. This is the debate about the role of men and the role of women in the church. Is there room for a figure like Mary? Is there room for an independent female voice in the church? And the Gospel of Mary says, yes, there is. Many of the New Testament texts say, no, there is not.
By the second half of the 4th century, Gnostic texts were censored by the church. Bishop Athanasius sent a letter to be read in every house of worship, every monastery. It was a communication that listed not only the books that were to become the official New Testament, but also those that were to be left out.
The Gospel of Mary is through and through a Gnostic gospel and would not have appealed to the majority church that determined the shape of the New Testament.
And it seems as if it is very likely that some of the monks near Nag Hammadi heard the pious and powerful and authoritative words of Bishop Athanasius, and they heard him say that there were some books they should not read. And they went to their library and they cleaned out their library and felt they had to dispose of these books, but they loved these books. They couldn't throw them in the Nile. They couldn't burn them. And so they stuffed them into a big jar, put a top on the jar, and buried the jar safely by a big rock at the foot of a cliff near Nag Hammadi.
And so it was that ancient Gnostic writings would remain hidden, waiting perhaps for another generation and another time to emerge into the light of day.
There is a collection of books that we would say are literally forbidden.
And there you heard it. Yes, there is a collection of books that were forbidden. And when you listen to these narrations, you realize that when the Bible was being put together, the individuals who were putting the Bible together had a particular mindset, a mindset that was mainly male-dominating. And so the Gospel according to Mary would not find itself in the New Testament because Mary was too independent a woman, and a woman was not supposed to be free-thinking, free-willed, and a leader in any sense of the word. And so that is why you find for many years, and even now, individuals would say women have this place and women have that place, and women are not supposed to be here and women are not supposed to be there. And one of the narrators said, as these individuals were trying to decide what was right and what was wrong, but what was right and what was wrong was determined by them. So when we hear today the Bible is the Word of God and God said this, this is why I always say it is relevant for you to do your research. Because when you do your research and you do it earnestly and with an open mind and honestly, then you will realize that there are a whole lot of gaps. And when you begin to fill those gaps, then you begin to understand how the Bible has played out over time. And I know one of our ardent callers is Sister Sylvine, and she's has always been a very strong-minded, strong-willed woman. And the Bible does not, if you follow the trend of these individuals who are putting the Bible together, they do not really adhere to women who have that kind of a strong-willed, assertive mindset. A woman is supposed to say, yes, sir. When a man says this, she's supposed to just move and do so without question. Okay, so I see I have a caller. I think I know who it is. Well, missed that call, but you're free to call back. Like I said, Greg usually calls in and he can and will make his statements. I just will not continue the back and forth. I'll let him say what he has to say and leave it at that. Hello, good day. Hello. I'm not hearing you, so I wonder what is the problem here. Caller, I'm not hearing you.
Good morning.
Okay. Why is it that I did not hear you for so long? When you call me, you need to not listen on another device. You need to listen via your phone, because if you listen on anything else, there's a big delay. Good day to you, Miss Africa.
Yeah, it's a with delay. I'm trying to juggle the same two things, and I'm hearing some feedback, so I'm gonna call back.
Well,
I'm gonna turn off one.
you're sounding loud and clear right now, so I would admonish you
Yes,
not.
but I'm hearing that feedback, and I just want full protection, so I'm gonna
Okay.
turn up and call back.
Okay, then feel free to do so. Okay, so yeah, I thought that would have been Greg. Greg, how are you today? I hope that you're in good stead. Hope that you're in good health. And let me try the phones again. Hello, good day.
Good morning, Quint.
Good day,
God's
Greg.
blessings to you. Yes.
I expected you.
None of those super scholars were me. None of them were me.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, but yes, as you know, I'm going to state what I believe.
Yes.
Now, with all due respect, those Gnostic books, at the earliest, that was written in the mid-2nd century, so they were written too late to be scriptures, because based upon Ephesians chapter 2, verse 20, the foundation that were made up of the apostles and prophets, with Christ being the chief cornerstone, was already laid by Ephesians chapter 2, verse 20. So that office discontinued, at least by that time. So since there was no apostle or prophet of God in the 2nd century, there could not have been any scripture written in the 2nd century, which those Gnostic literatures were written in, and also in the 3rd century as well. Now, that means all who are claiming to be prophets and apostles today, and in the past, since Ephesians 2, after the writing of Ephesians chapter 2, verse 20 by the Apostle Paul, none of them were true prophets, none of them were true apostles. At best, they were false and are false. So that was one of the criteria for a literature to be considered scriptures. It was not a subjective, willy-nilly thing. That's number one. Number two, Quint, and I want to make these points very quickly. Now, the gentleman who you had on, who spoke about who you interviewed, young Carpenter interview concerning the styrofoam, he gave a very pretty picture, because I saw that he brought some of the alternatives. Now, I only could speak to the styrofoam food containers. I cannot speak up to the cups or the other containers. I'll only speak to the styrofoam food containers. So what I'm going to say, alternatives. So what I'm going to say will only concern the styrofoam food containers alternatives. I went in town Saturday, and me and a certain vendor was speaking. You know those vendors going up the little street by the bus terminal area?
Which bus terminal? Which bus terminal?
The one on the Bay Road.
Okay, which street? Because there's streets.
There is a little street opposite the bus terminal area on the other side of the Bay Road.
Where
you have vendors going up there
where
selling food
CNC
and
Is that where CNC used to be?
I don't think so, but I know you know the late Honorable Bratchow's wife. She had a
Okay, I know
store
where
in the area.
I know where you mean
Yes.
now. Yes.
Right. Yes. So I was speaking to a vendor up there, and the vendor said to me, because by the time I went to the vendor said to me, a man was just here before you reach, and he was complaining. He bought a hot piping food by the food court at this square, Independence Square. And by the time he reached down in that area, the food, the container done mashed in the plastic. And thank God it was in a plastic.
What kind of a container was it?
One of the alternatives to the styrofoam food containers.
Okay.
Yes, one of the alternatives. I should have said that. And the man said to her, the man said to the person, is this what they're going to give us? Is this what they want to give us? Because somewhere between the journey, between the food court at the Independence Square and down by the area where the vendors are, somewhere along that journey, the food, because of the heat and so on, mashed in the plastic. And thank God he had a plastic. The alternative I'm speaking of. Now, later on, I was speaking to an owner of an eatery, and I asked him about these same containers also because I wanted to hear what the person was going to say. And the person said, they are inferior and they are more expensive. So you have a double whammy, a double negative whammy. I was told by the owner of the eatery, they are inferior, they are weaker, and at the same time, they're more expensive. So, and always speaking about the styrofoam food containers alternatives.
Well, I would
know about the cups.
I would advise you, because I'm sure that that individual will be back to WinFM at some point. I would advise you to be keen as to when he gets back so that you can bring your concerns, because listening to you, if what you're saying is so, and I have no reason to doubt you, then it seems as if though we're creating more problems than solutions, because if it is that the cost of for instance, I'm going to deal with, since the plastics have been banned, I am not saying I am one who wants to see us as human beings taking care of the environment and so on and so forth. My thing is this: if you're going to insert a ban, because you have the authority to do so. If you're going to insert a ban, why not also make sure that you have done the kind of research that you know what is viable to take place when you ban one thing, and you inform the people who you are saying no longer bringing this. Give them some alternative that comes from you, because you're the one who's imposing the ban, because you have the law, you have the power, and they have to follow whatever you say. Why not then do your research prior and say, this is what we're going to do. We're going to ban this, and we recommend that. And we are saying that just the way we are banning this, we're saying as this fades out, this should come in. When it comes to shopping is, it is absolutely horrible for me as a man. I see certain places and I see on their door a sign that says walk with your bag. But these kind of bags are not appropriate for certain goods. If they're wet goods and so on and so forth, they seep through. Imagine you go and you buy meat, poultry, that kind of stuff. Fish. And you put it in these bags. Where are you going to put it? You're going to put it like me who carry a backpack on my back? Am I going to put it into that, and next thing, by the time I get to my job, everything is messed up with the fishy or the poultry or chicken or meat or whatever scent? Come on. It is absolutely absolutely ridiculous. I feel, look, I feel that I heard on the news I think just yesterday and this morning that the whole world is moving towards trying to get rid of plastics. And I feel that this is just another means of our colonialist masters moving one thing and imposing something else that is going to benefit them. Because if they're saying get rid of this and what they're saying should be the alternative is more expensive, then it means somebody's benefiting from that.
Well, you see, not only that. No, I guess, somewhat, if you bring up the meat and so to some of them, and chicken and some fish and so to some of them, I guess they might tell you, oh, they just put them in plastic. Well, that's partly true. But also, in the freezers, they'll be in a kind of a rectangular kind of a container, recovered by a thin plastic. But that container at times just full of blood and that sort of stuff, and many a time it leak away.
Yeah, and even
even
the plastics that, for instance, let's say someone goes to buy chicken wings or turkey. You know those bones are sharp. And you know when you pack those stuff and you throw them into the cooler or whatever, and people come and they're sorting and they pick up and they put back, those bones are going to bore the plastic in various positions. So by the time you go and you pick up that, it's frozen, yes, but by the time it begins to melt, whereas once ago you had these plastic bags that would contain whatever seepage there was, now you have a bag that doesn't contain anything.
Yes.
I think
and like I said, enough time when they put them in them small rectangular styrofoam kind of container with a plastic wrap over them, a thin plastic. Many a time, like when they melt in that shallow styrofoam container, many a time the blood and so leak out. And thank God if they're in a plastic bag.
You know what just came to my mind? And this is why the Caribbean needs to be united. This is why when we go to these individuals and we're seeking help in this and that, we have to go as a united body. Whenever you go as individual countries, you don't have a say. This is what just came to my mind. When you go to these people and you're looking for aid or help, and I feel that we as a Caribbean people, it has been done before, and we should reach that point where we become more self-sufficient and not be depending on our colonialist masters for this and that and all kind of stuff. I'm not saying that we don't need some assistance here and there, but I think we are too dependent on them. But when we go to them for help and they say, okay, we're going to give you this help, but sign off on this and sign off on that. Sometimes, for instance, let's use the plastic as an example. We should be able to say, okay, so you want us to finish with this form of plastic. So what do you have that we can use in its place? And during the period that we're phasing out, will we be allowed to use this thing that you say should be replacing? Would we be allowed to use it and come back to you and say whether it is accommodating or not? But no, they don't do that. They go, they seek aid, and the people say, well, yes, we're going to give you these grants or we're going to help you here or there, but you have to sign off on this. You have to sign off on that. And they just sign. They don't. Look, let me use this, what I played before, the Bible, books not put in the Bible. Some people might cringe and say, those who are religious and Christians might say, oh, you're questioning this and you're questioning that. But that is what we need to do. We need to question things so we can come up with answers that make us more comfortable. And if we're going to do that with the Bible, which so many of the individuals in our region take as sacred, if we're going to question that, why don't we question everything else?
Well, Quint, I'm going to be quite honest with you. When it comes to questioning the Bible, I'm not for that. I'm against it.
Well, I know that, but I made the statement.
I'm against it, but I have no problem in questioning for clear understanding and for confirmation and that sort of stuff. Those kind of questioning, no problem. But to discredit the Bible in any way, no, I'm totally against that. Very much, and will always be so. But what I'm saying, Quinn, there is another issue. There is another issue with the alternatives as well. Both of them told me, okay? But one of them, I think, eventually find out where. But both of them told me they were having some difficulty in finding out where to buy them from, the alternatives.
And this is what I'm speaking to. We should not just be told you're banned from doing this. We should be told you're banned from doing this, but here's what you're gonna use, and this is where you're gonna get it. And we would recommend that you contact so and so and so, or so and so and so. And if you don't get that, there are 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or how many different places that you can get this from. So if you don't get this here, you get it there. For instance, I call some numbers. I call 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers, and I say, well, if you try one and you don't get it, try another. But no, we don't. Yes. You don't get these options. Why?
Quint, I'm not surprised. I grew up in St. Kitts, and I've been in St. Kitts for a number of years. And trust me, nothing surprises me anymore. Nothing surprises me anymore, Quint. I expect all of this, and even worse, because I know how we operate in St. Kitts. We operate very inefficiently and very ineptly, and so on and so on. Our politicians, especially our politicians.
And I must say, even though we disagree when it comes to biblical things, this is what I always say to individuals. At least you, Greg, you think along different veins, and so you intervene on different issues and you bring your perspective. We may agree or we may disagree, but you listen and you come with your own perspective, as opposed to a lot of individuals who are listening out there and they don't bring a perspective, but yet still they complain that, for instance, you're here and you're talking too long and blah, blah, blah. I would like them to bring a perspective, because that is what we want. We want our minds to come together and to have a sort of a clash, you know, like my concepts clash with yours, and we see what we can, we can hash out in our various discussions.
Yeah. No, this thing doesn't surprise me anymore. You see, as a matter of fact, I remember one time I told you, our political leaders in the Caribbean, including those in St. Kitts, and I'm figuratively speaking, they are holes. No. Let me stress, I meant it figuratively. Though I think to a certain degree it might also be true literally for some of them, not all of them, but some of them. No, quickly, let me say another point quickly, because I guess people are arguing. So let me say this quickly. Our prime ministers, our prime minister claimed, and he said that the death rates have decreased. I think, I don't want to use, I don't remember if he said sharply, but not least he said
but
the death
he
rates
he was speaking to, I think I might be, I'm not too sure, but I think he was speaking to deaths in relation to the hospital.
In the hospital.
Yes. So I want you to.
I don't remember if he said sharply, but not least he said
but
that
he was speaking to. I think I might be. I'm not too sure, but I think he was speaking to deaths in relation.
Now let me say this, Quint, and I'm gonna make this quickly and then off the phone. I do not trust government stats because of my experience in inland revenue. in inland revenue,
that is a very interesting statement, Greg. Greg, that is a very interesting statement, Greg.
Yes, very interesting, and I'm going to tell you why. Inland revenue have a history of hiding the true information from the IMF when they come in. And if they could do it to them, who they can do it to. Not only that, during COVID time, I've made to understand, and I do believe it, because of who said it.
Well, let me ask you this, Greg. Let me ask you this. Why should the IMF be privy to every aspect of what happens in our country? Aren't we independent?
Well, we say so, but that's why I always say we need to become a republic and we need to get to the British Commonwealth as quickly as possible, because if we are independent, then how come we still have crown lands? How come before any law passed you have to get the Queen representative to sign it, which if the king, if he decide I'm going to stand with my representative in not signing this, it can become law under status. So what kind of independence we have?
Yeah, good questions. But you see, this is where you have pick and choose. Just like people pick out what was going to be in the Bible and what was not going to be in the Bible, our lawmakers decide what is going to go forward and what they're going to adhere to and what they're not going to adhere to. So I hear you on that. But in terms of the IMF has not done anything positive for the people who they have been supposedly helping. So
why
I don't
we have them in the first place?
Well, because of mismanagement, I would say, because we mismanage and then we go to them and I don't know.
Yeah, so they shouldn't even be here in the first place. So, and I always hear, well, it is not a sin to borrow. It is not a sin to borrow, but the Bible tells you the borrower is a slave to the lender, and we have become slaves to those international monetary financial things. But like I said, I have heard that even during COVID time, the stats wasn't too right, you know. It was made to look worse, so to encourage us to take the vaccine.
And this COVID is a whole nother thing, because when I think back to the era of COVID, you know, I cringe, because our leaders were so quick to these people come. Don't our leaders know our history? I believe that people who are going to lead us should have at least a basic knowledge of the history of colonialism. If not, then they shouldn't be our leaders, because our leaders were so quick to decide this is right for you and you have to do this and you have to do that. And when you look at our history, you see what these colonialists have done to us and are still doing to us.
Yes. So based upon those two issues, my experience at Inland Revenue and what I was made to understand about the COVID stats, I do not trust government stats. The only one I could be able to trust is the homicide rate, because that one hard to hide. You don't think you could hide? You think you could mess with that so easily?
But even the homicide rates, well, what the Prime Minister, if he gave any statistics on the homicide rate, which I haven't been privy to, but the homicide rate that the police gave, that was not accurate, because he gave it broad. He said the percentage for 2025 is such and such and such, and he should not have made that statement. He should have said the statistics up to this point, mid-year in 2025 is XYZ. That is what he should have said. And when I heard that, I was very, very disappointed, because that is misleading. Not that I have a problem. I don't have a problem with the police. They're doing. But if you're going to bring statistics, bring them to us and do it so honestly, and do it in a way that we can look at it and listen to it and say, okay, yes, we are comfortable with the way you stated it.
You're correct, Quinn. So these are another reason why I do not trust government stats. Thank you, Quinn. Appreciate the time.
Okay, we're going to take a bit of a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
From the time that you taste it, man, you know that it's greatness. Some ice in your cup, tell your friends drink up. You know that we liming. Signal the bartender. No, we don't need chaser. But if you want, it could mix with anything. We drinking Stones ginger wine, the original ginger wine. We drinking like I say. Stones ginger wine. Greatness is forever.
For this year's Restaurant Week, National Bank wants you to swipe more, win more, and experience more. Use your National Bank Visa credit or debit card at any participating restaurant for a chance to win a VIP Culturama experience. Pick your event, get a glam makeover, and skip the lines like a star. Or get $500 in Liming Cash and splurge to the max. Swipe and win with National, the official bank of the St. Kitts Nevis Restaurant Week.
St. Kitts and Nevis, it's time to celebrate! We're raising our glasses and saying cheers to 20 years as your trusted telecommunications provider. And because we love our amazing customers, we're giving you the chance to win. Every week, we've got exciting prizes just for you. And that's not all. Step into a cash vault for a shot at $2,000 in cash. To qualify, switch to Digicel, activate a 3-day plan or higher. Pay your bill in full. Sign up for postpaid or a new Digicel Plus internet package. Stay connected, keep enjoying the best service, and get ready to win. 20 years strong, and we're just getting started. Visit a Digicel retail store today.
Shopping with TDC just got much easier. Here's how. Log on to shoptdcgroup.com. Shop at your convenience at any time, from anywhere, with your smartphone, tablet, or computer. With our safe and secure payment checkout, you choose the option to pick up in-store or have your goods delivered right to your door. It's that easy. Shop tdcgroup.com, your one-stop online store.
Shop anywhere, shop anytime, same quality you love. Now online. Shop
www.shoptdcgroup.com.
St. Kitts, are you ready to invest with UTC GBFL?
Wait, UTC GBFL? What is that all about?
It's the UTC Global Balanced Fund Limited, your passport to investing in global markets, stocks, bonds, and opportunities worldwide, all within your reach.
So I can really start investing money?
Yes, and the best part, you can start with just 100 US or EC equivalent. Investing isn't just for the big players, it's for you. Whether you are seeking the potential to build wealth, secure your future, or chase your dreams, now is the time. Do it for you. Now, visit utcgbfl.com to get started today. UTC GBFL. Invest for tomorrow. Do it for you. An investor should consider a fund's investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses before investing, with the full knowledge that an investor may not get back the amount invested. The price of the units may increase or decrease, or that there may be circumstances where redemption of units may be suspended. This and other important information can be found in the fund's prospectus, which is available on our website, www.utcgbfl.com. The Eastern Caribbean Securities Regulatory Commission has not in any way evaluated the merits of the securities offered.
Got itchy palms? That's a sign. Money could be coming your way with Scratch and Win from Caribbean Lottery. It's the easiest way to win instantly. No waiting, no fuss. With tickets starting from just $2 up to $20. Win over $35 million in prizes. The higher the price, the bigger the prize. So scratch today for your chance to win up to $200,000. Available at Caribbean Lottery agents island-wide. Must be 21 years and older to play.
Welcome to Island Tea with your faves. Keep it locked in with us for your daily dose of hot tea, only on Win Media 98.9.
And welcome back to Island Tea. And let me again repeat, and I think I'll have to do so occasionally, because I know a lot of you will be looking forward to hearing that lovely voice over in Studio 2. She will not be with us today, the 6th, tomorrow the 7th, the 8th, and the 11th, but she will be back on the 12th, okay? She's not sick, she's in good health, but taking a bit of a hiatus. Okay, let me go to the phone lines. Good day.
Good morning, Quinn.
Good day, Mr. McMahon. And how are you today?
Fighting off a touch of flu, but
Okay, well, let's hope you
improving.
get over that. Well, you don't sound, your voice sounds the same, so I guess you're improving.
Yeah. Um, well, I quite agree with you when you said that by all means be environmentally conscious and try to preserve the environment. And so ban plastic, since they're being identified as one of the main causes of problems that we've had with the environment.
Yeah.
But as you said, something should have been put in place to make sure that that happened as seamlessly as possible.
Yeah.
And the changes that were introduced.
Yeah.
Because I think we were perhaps one of the last countries in the region to do this ban on plastic,
Yeah.
right? And so it isn't like we had to invent anything. I mean, all we had to do was do our research and determine how the other countries dealt with problems like these.
Yeah.
Now, instead of the higher ups, the ministers and prime minister and so on, doing this globe chatting with questionable results, send some law official, okay, who they probably would have gotten to travel for free from some agency.
Yeah.
To really investigate what can be done to make, like I said, this transition as seamless as possible.
I agree.
Okay, right, and because there must be some solution. I don't know if it's, and I agree that what Greg was talking about with the container is really a hot mess, to put it literally. That those containers, no, that those not gonna do.
Yeah.
It has to be that they're lined with some kind, I don't know if it's greaseproof paper or some kind of foil or
Yeah.
something. There got to be technology that can produce those kind of containers with that kind of thing that make them
Resistance.
more
Yeah.
resilient.
Yeah.
Yes, resistant to heat and grease and so
Yeah,
on.
because
Okay.
imagine someone serving food. You've been around, we've been around. Those big, gigantic pots. You take out a ladle full of soup, you put it into a container, and that container, I mean, from the time you put that soup into that container, the heat permeates that thing, and if it's not sturdy, it's going to begin to disintegrate.
Of course. But that, you have to wonder what exactly used to happen before the advent of plastic. And I think what used to happen actually was that people would cook at home.
Yeah.
And have a container, the canteens, I think they used to call them.
Yeah, I remember some
Right, and
very
carry them-
creative canteens too.
Yeah, right, with different
Compartments,
sections and
yeah.
so on, yes, right, and carry them to work.
Yeah.
Okay, and reusable, wash them out, and they're reusable.
Yeah.
But we don't do that anymore.
Don't do
Everybody eats out.
Yeah.
And expects, well, once you eat, you just throw away. You eat and throw away. Okay, and I think that is what.
But Mr. McMahon, that brings up a very, very interesting point. Don't you think that now that we have adopted to this new means that it is much more expensive for us?
It's more expensive in what sense?
For instance, I cook, and I don't know if you do, but if you take, let's say $75, and you go and you do, I'm a bachelor, right? My kids are grown. And you do X amount of shopping, you buy your meat, your egg, your whatever, your bread. I don't use much bread, but you do your shopping, and then that is going to last you X amount of time. But take that to oppose and put it against today. Now you go out, you leave home, and you're going to go for, let's say you go to KFC, right? One meal in KFC, and everybody seems to be going to KFC. Okay, or you go to Burger King, or you go to Domino's, whatever. These things are expensive.
Yeah, well, that's true. that is true, right?
And
maybe
that's
maybe it
only
has to do
one
with-
meal.
with-
That's only one meal. You buy. Look, I see someone with 3 pieces of chicken, right? 3 pieces of chicken, and it costs $20-something. Now, when you go on your shop, you know how much pieces of chicken you can get?
Well, you see that's the price of progress and effort.
Ah.
Okay.
The price of progress is high.
It is absolutely more expensive. But as you mentioned, Kentucky Fried Chicken, you realize that at least the boxes are disposable.
Yes.
And I
yes.
think it's greaseproof paper that you use in them.
Yes. Yeah.
So part of the problem can also be solved by the way we prepare our food.
Yes, most
That,
definitely.
the liquid stuff is put in small gravy and so on. It's put in a small container.
Yeah.
Okay, and you only when you're ready to eat do you actually
Use it.
use it.
Yeah.
Right. So that might be a solution as well, because
You know,
a lot of the time.
That is a very good example, because I've never seen anyone with a Kentucky Fried box and I see anything coming through. But
Right.
as you said, the gravy is in a little plastic container, well sealed, and you only use it when you're ready to eat. So packaging again is very important.
Yes, and yes, maybe the food vendors may need a little
Example,
seminar on,
yeah.
seminar on how to package
Yes,
food
you're
in your
right.
environment.
Yeah.
That definitely could be one of the, because I don't think we're going back to the days of the canteen.
No,
You
I
know?
don't think so. I agree with you.
Everybody used to do it. So it was kind of like fashionable, But now, I doubt you can't find out people. You can't find that becoming in fashion again.
No.
Okay, even with a plastic ban. So yes, but obviously something has to be done, because it can't continue like this. I mean, those things are a real nuisance.
Yeah.
They're gonna decrease sales before they increase it. The people have to be going through that kind of thing. They have to be thinking.
Hold a second there. Hello? Caller, you have on...
Let me turn on the radio.
Yeah, because that is giving me a horrible feedback.
Yeah, feed it, wait. Yeah, hold on for me.
Mr. McMahon, go ahead, please, until she returns.
Yeah. Well, the other issue. She's ready.
Let's work with her, because remember, she can't see.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Let me hang up and call back.
Okay, do so. I was trying to accommodate her, because remember,
sure.
she can't see, so, we
Right.
can't rush her. Go ahead.
Yes, of course. No, the other issue I was going to talk about was the statistics that, again, was mentioned by Greg. And I think this has come into the fore, especially because of what Trump did over the weekend or last week, when he fired.
What did he do? Because I don't follow Trump anymore.
But it's not so following. You can't. It's not so much following.
Well,
Trump as
I hear
following
you.
what he does, because
Yes.
what he does obviously impacts
Affects us,
Even in
yes.
this latest thing, it's not just the states. What he did
Yeah, you're
was
right.
basically fire the person in charge of the statistical division of the government.
Yeah.
Okay, the one that produces the statistics on things like employment and those kinds of things, cost of living and so on.
Yeah.
Didn't like the numbers because they were revised downwards for one
Good morning.
Yeah, Sylvine is
The
back.
voice is hello.
Yeah.
Must lift up your voice, man. Good morning to all the listeners at home and abroad. Good morning, Quint, and good morning to Greg.
Yes.
Now, we have these lot of assumptions and statements we make about international organizations. Often we make them because we just don't know how things work.
Okay, so perhaps you
And
can
what
enlighten us.
they don't come in your country unless you invite them. Number one, You have to be a member of the IMF before you can do anything. They pay. They are what they call trances. Each country has a certain amount of things to put
Yeah. Do you, Sylvine, do you have on
wait,
the
wait,
radio?
give me a chance, man. Because
Because-
I hear about, oh, we must come out to the Commonwealth, come out to everything and go here. I mean, really, what is the function? As Greg said, if you don't manage your money and you go down to National Bank to borrow, you will have to pay a higher rate of interest. Don't take our case when we went to the IMF.
Sylvine, you seem to have on a radio or something is feeding back horribly. It's gone. I don't understand here. Wow. Mr. McMahon, you're still there? You're still there, Mr. McMahon?
Yes, I'm here. You can hear me?
Yeah, but I guess maybe it's that air conditioning. Oh, okay, man. Everything is sort of a feeding back here. Yeah. Okay, go ahead. I had to drop Sylvine because of that
Sylvine is
feedback.
gone.
Yeah,
Okay.
that horrible feedback there. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, basically he fired his head of the statistical division, and because he didn't like the numbers, they were revised downwards, so that also there was not this huge gain in employment for the last 2 months, I think it was, as was predicted before.
So let me
Okay.
ask you this. Let me interject and ask you this. So if someone is given a job as a statistician or whatever, should they not give you the right figures? If it goes down, should they not give you? If it goes up, should they not give you?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Right? But and the thing is, who he fired was the head, who is normally oversees the process. They're not the one compiling the figures directly. They're not as hands-on as that. But yes, overall, they have overall responsibility producing the figures and the correct figures. But throughout, in the past, it has been what has happened is that they'll issue a report, and as more data comes in, it's revised upwards or downwards.
Yeah.
It happens all the time.
Happens all the time.
Trump was having none of this. He wants the division to produce figures that are going to make him look good.
Figures that don't really exist.
That's like telling your accountant, listen, say that I made a profit, even though I made a loss. It's so ridiculous.
Which we knew he did in his own personal accounting. So he has brought it now to running the country. So.
Right. And the thing is, it affects not only the U.S., it also affects the world in the sense that everybody had confidence in that department's reports and would use them to make decisions on, projections and decisions on what to invest in and, those kinds of very important things, elements. And now, if it's going to be that, you better give them good figures, otherwise you lose your job.
But Mr.
That is
McMahon,
no environment to operate in.
But Mr. McMahon, you and I are well aware that this tariff thing that he put into place has affected everything across the board. So is he not aware of that? Or is he trying to stick his head in the sand? Or is he in denial? What? I mean...
It's probably a case of he's in denial, but more a case, I think, of him feeling essentially that he can run the government like he runs his business on a hunch.
Yeah.
I think he's gambling, okay, that things would work out to the U.S.'s advantage in the end, and so he gambles.
But so far it has not been working. So doesn't he reevaluate? Isn't part of living you assess, like you make a decision and you realize it's moving in the negative and you make adjustments. Isn't that the way?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, loud and clear, perfectly.
Good morning to everybody. Sorry about that. Is it fun? Because, you know, the weather going from
Yes.
hot to heavy rain. Like some people's emotion, you know?
Yes.
Now, let me go. It is not in defense of the IMF.
Yes, I know that.
But people repeat what they hear.
Yeah.
But they don't know. The IMF is made up of members. All the countries are not members. You have to join yourself. They're there to help to stabilize the economy. Now, if you are running a house, a family house, you get your money, you spend half off, and you get your money and you spend half off, and next thing you hear that they're going to foreclose on your house. You know, oh, the bank wicked, because this is the only house I have. If our government and countries ensure that they run the country properly,
I did say
they won't
that.
have to go and borrow.
Well, I did say that, and Greg concurred. Greg
I know, but they make it sound like, oh, well, let us come in. That's not true.
Well, we know that, you know.
Wait. They have drawing rights. Each country has a certain amount that they pay as a member. In our first case when we went, we took ourselves there.
Okay.
We were borrowing like we can done, like money can done, as we seem to be doing now. Because we own the sugar lands. Oh, well, hold this for that and hold that for that. Next thing you know, the bank can't lend you no more.
Mm-hmm.
And your creditors are demanding the money.
Yeah.
And remember, in case you don't know, external creditors will not lend you money unless the IMF assess you.
Okay.
But you don't like them. When they go to Saudi Arabia and whatever, go borrow.
Yeah.
They ask the IMF what is the financial or the fiscal situation in the country.
Yeah.
You can't tell one about, oh, the IMF this and the IMF that. I am concerned about this lot of borrowing that is going on. It's like you pass the sugar lands. Next thing you know, you lose them. Oh, the IMF. Because of politics and the 5-year thing, they spend like crazy during the election here, not even knowing how they're going to recoup the money. And remember, you need a certain percentage of foreign exchange to trade. So when you would have put yourself in a position where you don't have enough foreign exchange to buy even food, the balance of payment is negative, what you gonna do? And this thing about, oh, they must come out of the Commonwealth. Why? We must have some good, sensible reason. What is the function of the Commonwealth? They are independent countries in there who were never colonies, in case some people don't know. Are you aware of that?
Well, I'm not the one making that statement.
I didn't ask that. Are you aware of that?
Yes, I am.
There are countries who were never colonized by the British. But by joining together, just like how we joined the OECS and CARICOM, there are certain benefits you could get. We must come out to this, we must come out to that. I mean, it sounds good to the listener who don't know any better. There are benefits to be gained. You get scholarship. Countries could give you grants inside of there. They don't have to ask the king anything in case you don't know. The king is not in charge of it. So you don't have to ask, oh, can I, if saying a boss I can now. We need to understand what we're saying. Because people, oh, the IMF, this and the IMF, keep the IMF in. We are the ones who do things to ourselves. Just like how we have this culture, Nevis culture. When I hear they got $400 VIP in a poor country, $250. And the promoters, I don't understand. When you done, they go, When you could give me a dollar, you could buy me a burger. Go and see who going up in the VIP.
But Sylvine, this is why I give thanks that you're still alive and that you interact with us, because you bring a perspective that we're not all a fay with. So
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so we're glad when you interject and you bring your
No,
wealth
I
of
went to the
knowledge.
IMF twice. Now, you see, as I said, a lot of the things we bring on ourselves. We could restructure our economy. Why do you have to wait for the IMF to tell you so? Why? You're going to take off this and take off that and put on this. And there are people in these government institutions who know, but politics is politics.
Yeah.
They will do anything. I am here watching our national debt climbing, you know.
Wow.
If we know that our CBI funds are being declining, cut back on some things.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Explain to the people. Explain. We wanted to do so and so. $80 million in roads. These roads there since 1995, you know, when they put a project. Some are palm one, some are labor one. They never touched them. When the money was running like water, why you didn't do them?
Yeah.
Now you're gone and we don't have any money. You're heading for the IMF.
Yeah.
And then, the IMF come in. Is you bring them in?
Most
You
of
cannot,
Well,
they
she
cannot come unless you
answered
tell them
herself,
to.
you know.
And it is good for somebody to assess you since you won't assess yourself.
Mr. McMahon, you were saying something?
Yeah, I'm saying she answered herself
Okay.
as to why we do things like that.
Okay.
Yes, she answered herself as to why we do things like that. It has everything to do with that 5-year cycle.
Yeah.
Where coming on to the end of that 5 years, you do everything to try to get reelected.
Yeah.
You worry about the consequences of what you do after, right? And that is a problem that we have. And as long as we have the kind of system that we have, I suppose there's no getting away from it.
This morning,
All right?
this morning, when Greg was speaking, he did ask, because we're aware of certain things. We're not as detailed and versed as Miss Henry, but Greg is aware, and I'm aware of certain things, because when I made the statement in relation to the IMF, Greg said, we should not be there in the first place, so why are we there? And I answered by saying, because of mismanagement. So we know why the IMF comes in. We have a problem when the IMF comes in, because we know when the IMF comes in what is going to happen. We're going to get austerity measures. Go ahead, Mr. McMahon.
Right. Okay, so what we should do is forestall that before the austerity measures come. At least introduce some measures that would at least not have us to endure too much pain.
Yeah.
Later. Okay, but you honestly, how the government is being run now, you don't get the impression that money is a problem, or that there is any attempt to at least look at your spending in particular areas and prioritize as you see fit, as should be done.
But Mr. McMahon, if one is aware, I don't go out that much, but I go out. And if you are observant, you can look around the country and see that money is not as available as it was. For instance, let's look at how our roads are being fixed, how long it takes. Like right now, across there on George Street, it has been so long that this road is, on. Let's look at the school, the college that they say they're supposed to work on. Let's look at the new hospital. Let's look at varying aspects. Let's look at when we go into the supermarket, what is on the shelves, the cost of living, and so on and so forth. So Sylvine is very right when she says she sees our national debt creeping up.
Yeah, plus, wasn't it? Didn't it just go up by? Well, I guess it was a memorandum of understanding. I don't know if they actually borrowed it as yet. But money for what it was, that port,
Yeah.
a transshipment port, and $50 million for something else, infrastructure projects or something like that.
I think
that's gone up by 100 million. That's carrying it up by 100 million.
You understand?
Straight off.
Yeah.
Right. And you have to look. You have to look at the benefits, the cost benefit analysis. I think is what they call it. When you do these things, they're nice and showy projects, yes, but you have to look at where we are financially, where we want to be, and where they fit in with in the whole thing. And I agree with Mrs. Henry about something like the Commonwealth. Becoming a republic is another thing altogether.
Yeah.
I would definitely agree with that. But there's no reason to come out of the Commonwealth, because the Commonwealth can't tell us what to do.
Yeah.
Right? When you're not a republic, you can be told what to do. Right? And just like, for instance, the point I was making some time ago, where I said we know that we were a small voice in the wilderness. If, for instance, we complain about what's happening in Gaza, right? But if we add our voices to something like the Commonwealth and encourage Commonwealth members to try to end what's been happening there, the Commonwealth includes Canada and Australia,
Yeah.
India, I think, big, large countries like that.
Yeah.
Right? So at least you have the strength in numbers. Okay, so I agree. It's not all. We should be very strategic in what organizations we choose to
be a part of,
be represented in.
Yeah.
Yes, to be a part of. Okay, but back to the statistics thing, right? I think it's pretty much the same here. Okay, in that, well, in the first place, I'm not so sure we're so good at collecting statistics. Okay, in the first place. And secondly, the thing with statistics is that you can twist them and turn them to a narrative. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember one of the very first courses in college, when I went to college, was how to lie with statistics. Well, no, that was not the name of the course.
Hold a second. We have another caller. Go ahead, caller.
Hi, good morning and peace to you and everyone in the St. Nevis and who listening. I'm just calling in to let persons know. One, Mrs. Henry would have mentioned it. Sometimes we say we have to get united in certain things. The Commonwealth is a grouping of countries that have a similar political makeup, okay, which is the British system, common law, and the Anglo-Saxon system. However, there are other countries that were never a part of the British who even want to join the Commonwealth because they see something within it. What I must say, just like in anything else, it is for us to get the best from that system. How can we get it work for us? Okay, so I would just like to say that so the person could understand when it comes to the Commonwealth, the king, yes, he might be started off with England, but he is not really the head. He has a secretary general and so forth that runs everything. And they are there as mutual, same level countries. You think you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, we're listening.
Right. So it's not that someone have more power than the next. The difference is some are bigger than some economically, population-wise, landmass-wise, military-wise, and everything. But there are a lot of offers. As a matter of fact, I'm not sure if persons are aware of it. There's a British Foreign Office and the Commonwealth. So it's named British and the Commonwealth Foreign Affairs. So any country that have citizens in a country that do not have, let's say, an embassy, the British Commonwealth Office is there to render assistance as well.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that come to it. But it's for, as you might say, persons in the know to inform and enlighten persons as to the benefit of this. Just like how we say there's a benefit in CARICOM and OASIS, there's a benefit with the Commonwealth. We have this similar judicial system, similar political system, and all these things. So therefore, there wouldn't be no cross thing. The other thing, when it comes to the IMF is owned by which country? And the money, the World Bank. You know which country they owned by?
You tell us.
The main person inside it is the U.S. And just like any other bank, they'll give you a loan if you want one, and it comes with certain strings attached. And as Mrs. Henry was saying, if we do not approach them, they cannot dictate certain things to us because we owe them nothing. So, what I will say, not because I am with the People's Action Movement, yes, we're going to do things different, but we're going to always make sure good management of our resources, of our people, our institutions, and make sure as little as possible to have everything to generate the funds it needs to make our country very prosperous. We did it already in the 1980s to 95. We are saying Nevis was the most developed and economic country in the Caribbean and in Latin America because we have the know-how, because we have the philosophy of the policy, and we will do it again. Given the opportunity when it comes to the next election, when we form the government by the People's Action Movement, because we fill in all 8 seats. And with the help of you, my friend, and other persons, we're going to win all 8 seats to give you some of the things that you're looking for. We cannot do everything in 1 year, but at least throughout our 5-year period before the next election comes and you all vote for us again, we're going to do our best to make St. Kitts the most economic advanced and developed country in the Caribbean and in the Latin America again. And we're going to even do it better than that time. So I just wanted to shed some light on that. I hope my little input, because I don't have much time, about the Commonwealth will let persons know it's similar to CARICOM. And remember, we're part of also the Organization of American States. It's another grouping that we're part of, and they have benefits. I guess the thing that with the Commonwealth, people only are looking at the British because they were, what do you call it, colonial power.
Caller, let me interject, because as you are, and I must commend you because you seem to be an ardent, a consistent, that's a better word, a consistent spokesperson for the People's Action Movement. Now, you, as your party, should be well aware, as Sylvine stated, and we feel we can agree with her to some extent, that our national debt seems to be creeping upwards. Now, as you are there waiting for the chance to be the incumbent, are you aware of this? And being aware of it, are you already making plans as to how you will deal with it? I won't even ask you how you will deal with it, because words are so easy to say. But what I'm asking is, are you aware of the creeping upwards of our national debt? And are you already making plans and provisions as to how you will deal with it if you were afforded the ability of being the incumbent?
Yes, sir. I am aware of it personally, and also the executive of the People's Action Movement is aware of it. I'm glad you asked this question, because we have already have things how to, one, reduce it, control it, and to make sure we do not reach in that position again. I'm not saying we may not have to borrow, but the depth of which we are doing. But we're going to try everything to make sure we do not get that. I have to be frank. Because even you in your personal life, you may not want to go to the bank for anything, but you have some money to put aside. Okay, this is just here for emergency. And then you go and you borrow some money because sometimes you use other first money. But you know what? Everything must be done with moderation. But the People's Action Movement already have a plan and policies, and if you even want to say procedures, how to make things better and to do exactly what you said.
And when one...
And our political leader would have spoken on this thing a number of times of what we have. And shortly you will hear more on it when we have other utterances by different means, but conferences by our political leader and other persons who will be designated to make such speeches.
Okay.
Quinn?
Yes.
I, for one, would have preferred if he had said exactly, well, obviously he can give all the details, but certainly more details than just saying that they are aware of it and they're going to do something about it. Because, for instance, he made a claim there that was not quite true, that when Tam was was formed the administration for this country, we were essentially had the best economy among the Caribbean and Latin America. That's not true. What was true was that at one point in time, we had the highest growth rate in that region,
Yeah.
the region, you know. But that's a far cry if I'm saying that we had the best economy, right? And that goes back to what I was talking about with the statistics.
Yeah.
You can do all kinds of things with statistics. And as I was saying, one of the things we learned was we had to read a book called How to Lie with Statistics, because you can use the numbers to twist things how you want.
Yes.
In the fire analysis, you know, you basically have your narrative and you use the statistics to support it, right?
Yeah.
And that is not what we want.
Yeah.
We want consistency. We want accuracy, okay, and so that we don't end up making bad decisions. And similarly, in terms of the voters, we want clarity from our political parties and leaders as to exactly what they're going to do. Because what is, as you just pointed out, it's very easy to say, well, you're going to do this, I'm going to do that. They're not going to tell you, well, how is it going to be paid for? They're not going to tell you whether they're going to raise taxes.
Well, that is the main.
Give,
That is the main reason why I didn't ask him how he was going to do it, because I would hear the semantics of, blah, 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 and then, the proof is going to be left into when the eating of the pudding. So I didn't want to go down that road.
But the thing is, the reason why we have to go down that road is because of past experience, where, they make all kinds of promises, and then in the 5-year term, you hear all kinds of complaints, and it seems to be like a recurring decimal. It always keeps happening again and again and again.
Well, here's the
one
reason.
of the reasons is we don't hold them accountable in the period in the first place.
But here's the
right?
reason why I asked him that, because I wanted it to go on. I wanted it to be placed on record that someone who is higher up in the PAM or People's Action Movement regime was asked the question, are you aware of the situation and are you already making plans to do something about it, so that if and when they do become the incumbent and we don't see that trajectory moving towards a positive, then we know that it was a lie. So I just wanted that to be on record.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. But I would have liked to hear him say that one of the things I would have done was make sure that the good governance agenda is prioritized.
Yeah.
Because then we would have access. Good governance agenda is prioritized.
Yeah.
Because then we would have access of running our country, okay? Be more open of running our country, okay? Be more open, be more transparent, be more inclusive and consultative in the things that they do and prioritize and so on, rather than it seems as if what obtains now is to try as far as possible to win by propaganda. That's how I put it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to take a commercial break momentarily, so I want you to kind of finalize your statement.
Yeah. Basically, I don't like that approach where you try to just win the narrative, whatever that is, whether it be true or not.
But don't you think
by swamping the place with propaganda?
Don't you think that when we realize that they're not dealing with integrity in public life and other things that would show, as you said, give us an insight as to the inner runnings of things, don't you think that speaks words that we're not going to get what we want in terms of honesty in dealing with government issues and so forth?
Well, you would think so. But the thing about that is that it comes after the fact. A lot of damage can be done in 5 years, okay? Yeah. And it's all well and good to fool the people and say that you're going to do these things. And then when you get in, you do otherwise, and you have 5 years to wreak havoc with stuff. Okay, that's the problem we've been having.
Yeah.
That is why I say that who is going to grab my attention is the party or leaders or candidates who are going to say, listen, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to put my signature to it, and if I don't do it, you have every right to kick me out, or I resign. Yeah. You know, that would grab my attention, because what it indicates is that I am absolutely serious about the office that I'm going to represent. I'm going to do the best I could. I'm going to try to stick to my promises, and I know that if I don't, there will be consequences, and I'm fully prepared to abide by those consequences. Stop fooling the people. That's the long and short of it. Yeah. The people have been fooled too many times, too often in the past, and you know we don't want it to continue.
Yeah, I agree with you. I hear you loud and clear, but that might just be another way of getting the new era of politics where individual propaganda, I must say, where the new form of propaganda is to say, I'm going to do this, and if I don't do this, I'm going to resign. But the resigning part is a whole nother issue, because I don't see a government going in and not doing what they promised, resigning. They're still going to make sure you wait that out of 5 years. So I'm going to take a bit of a commercial break, and I'll be right back.
You found the sound, 98.9 Win FM.
Kids and neighbors, it's time to celebrate! We're raising our glasses and saying cheers to 20 years as your trusted telecommunications provider. And because we love our amazing customers, we're giving you the chance to win. Every week, we've got exciting prizes just for you. And that's not all. Step into a cash vault for a shot at $2,000 in cash. To qualify, switch to Digicel, activate a 3-day plan or higher. Pay your bill in full. Sign up for postpaid or a new Digicel Plus internet package. Stay connected, keep enjoying the best service, and get ready to win. 20 years strong, and we're just getting started. Visit a Digicel retail store today.
If you live in low-lying areas, be aware of the possibility of tsunamis immediately after an earthquake. A strong earthquake lasting 20 seconds or more is a natural tsunami warning. Do not wait for an official warning. Gather your family members and evacuate immediately after the shaking stops. Don't delay. A tsunami could occur within minutes.
This message is sponsored by the Australian Government, AusAid, and produced by NEMA in collaboration with WinFM.
Get in Nevis, time to get charged up for the Fuller Energy Home Series. West Indies is back at Warner Park as they take on Australia in 3 action-packed T20 Internationals, July 25th, 26th, and 28th at 7 p.m. So round up your crew, bring your flags, and come to rally with the men in maroon. Get your tickets now at westindiescricket.com. Physical tickets would be available at the Oval Box office from July 21st.
Welcome to Island Tea with your faves. Keep it locked in with us for your daily dose of hot tea, only on Win Media 98.9.
And welcome back. I stepped away just for a bit. Let me go to the phone lines there. Hello, good day to you.
Yeah, Quint, it's me again.
Yeah.
Try to be quick as possible. Number one, Quint. When you said it is this mismanagement of the country that brought in the IMF, I fully agreed with you.
Yeah, I said that.
I didn't oppose you.
Yeah, I said that.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. Miss Henry is putting words in my mouth. None of us believe that the IMF could just go into a country like that. None of us believe
Yeah,
that.
we know. Yeah, we're well
Yeah,
aware.
none of us believe that.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, it is the mismanagement of the country that also resulted in the land for debt swap as well.
Yeah.
So
We don't.
we know these things.
Yeah, we don't
So
want to
somebody
be
said
heading
the IMF
down that road again. We don't want to be heading down that road again.
We're heading down that road again. We are heading down that road again. But none of us think that the IMF could just come in your country like that.
Yeah.
Another thing, Quint, I like to say quickly, as I well. The Commonwealth, if somebody go on Wikipedia have an article called Head of the Commonwealth, it tells you the British monarch has always been the head of the Commonwealth, and legally, that is the British monarch title, Head of the Commonwealth. You find it in the Royal Style and Titles Act.
Yeah.
The head of the Commonwealth is the name of the Wikipedia article. And the head of the Commonwealth today still look like will always be the British monarch. I don't want to be under the British monarch in any way, even if it is just merely ceremonial. Even if it is just merely ceremonial, I still don't want the British monarch over me. Okay? As a matter of fact, with all due respect, I am really more radical than that. Because the Bible said, God told Israel in the Bible, do not join up with anybody. Just trust him and obey his word. And because if you don't, and you put your trust in man, man will fail you. That is why today we are accepting all kind of evils and wrongs, signing up, agreeing to legalize homosexuality and all them sort of stuff because of all these signing up and joining up with people.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Yeah, because we put ourselves in compromising position. We put ourselves in a position where we are dictated to. Because what do they say? Beggars have no real choice.
Have no choice.
Can't be choosers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So with all due respect, I'm more radical than just coming out with coming. I believe coming out the UN, the OS, and all them sort of stuff. But at the very least, if we can come out the British Commonwealth, because we love having the British monarch over us, we see it as no problem. Well, we are just hopeless. At least the other organization, the UN, the OS, the OS, and the other organization that I know we are part, at least the headship rotates. The British Commonwealth headship do not rotate.
Yeah.
It's always the British Commonwealth above us. If we can't at least come out of that, then we're just helpless. The Bible said, don't join the tour. God told you, don't join up with nobody. Because they're going to be a snare unto you. Just trust him and obey his word. And he will work things out. He will fight for you. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Okay. I'll tell you. And that is one of the the things that irked even the British population over the years, because the monarchy has been just pulling in a lot of wealth over time, and people in Britain and people scattered across England have been suffering, and they're saying, well, we don't want that you're raking in all this money and still you're exempt from so many taxes and this and that and all that kind of stuff. Hello, caller.
Good morning.
Good day.
Let me say something. The IMF was formed in 1844 in Germany at the Bilderberg Hotel. The IMF was formed using the resources, of OPEC. OPEC, the oil-producing countries, had all this reserve money that they couldn't do nothing with, like drug money. So you end up like laundering. They decided then at that meeting to form a bank, the members of OPEC, to lend money to the former colonies, knowing that the colonies were set free without any economic power. When the purpose was to lend IMF short-term loans, when they realized that many of the colonies needed more time or longer time and bigger loans, is when the World Bank was introduced. The IMF is owned not by the UN, well, maybe technically, but by the members of the oil-producing countries. Bless up.
Caller, before you leave, this is why I often say I want people to interject, because you bring something that I don't want to be the one here saying everything. I want to hear different things from different people. And everything that you say there, I'm well aware of, but I can't remember everything and bring it off the top of my head. I'm only a human being. And thank you for inserting that wealth of knowledge there. And never be a stranger to insert yourself and bring your knowledge whenever you can.
And on that, before I leave, I must go on the... We cannot, let me say this, we cannot move away from the Commonwealth. We are owned by the British Commonwealth, and all the members with India is headed by King Charles, his heirs and successors. We need to identify and reclaim our identity. We are going nowhere. We, in the rest of the world, are people without a language, is a people without an identity. If we cannot establish ourselves as a people, as a race, then we would only always continue down the path of ownership. We are admitting, one, no language, all of us, and we proudly elocute in English, including me. It is the only language that we know. Our language was beaten out of us, and all the bad words were our African words.
Yeah.
We have come a long way, and to prove that, we as a people must begin to establish our identity. We are African people. The reflection in the mirror speaks the truth.
Yeah.
Our governments, collectively the Caribbean, they say now they're changing to teach some Saint-Kitts history. Saint-Kitts history, unless you are what Tiano or Canilago people, their story is not ours. Our Saint-Kitts history begins with colonization. It is his story, not ours. Ours must begin from the land from which we were stolen. We are missing people. We were taken, brought in the bottom of the ships across the Atlantic and walked in tunnels from the port to the plantation. We are proud of what? We are proud of being Kittitian. Kittitian, St. Kitts is a slave colony. So we are proud of being members of a slave colony. We are admitting that we are an absolutely conquered people, controlled, governed, ruled. Our thoughts are not our own.
Yeah.
It is the end of my. This is the end of my contribution.
And
Bless.
thank you for
Have a
that,
good day.
and do continue to have a great day. Yeah, I concur with everything that you said, and that is why people cringe when I say, until Africa is free, we as a people, no matter where we are scattered across the globe, we will have no true stance and acceptance and respect anywhere across the globe until the land from which we were stolen gets complete autonomy. We, no matter where we are scattered across the world, will be in a compromised position. I'll take a bit of a commercial break, and when I get back, it will be Voices.
98.